All right, folks, Tommy Cowett here on the lawn with you and in the swamp. And we're here in Burlington, North Carolina, Alamance Crossing Shopping Center, and on the site of a BMP. BMP, that's a best management practice. Basically, it's a way to manage water runoff from all the parking lots, the rooftops of these buildings, the streets. There's a lot of a lot of water running down. And to accommodate that, we got a major highway running by, that's I-40. And these were constructed, there's a lot of devices here that I'm going to go through a series of videos to show you the different devices that you'll find and the different types of BMPs. Now, the best management practice, the term, is just good old, surefire, tried and true ways to manage these ponds. I like to call them ponds. Some of them are detention ponds, some are retention ponds. Some are not supposed to hold water, some are permanent holding water. And these do hold water. They have an inlet and an outlet, and they have an emergency spillway. There's a number of other devices. This one has what they call a level spreader. We'll go down there in a little bit and show you the maintenance on that. But basically, they need to be maintained. And growing green here, we do a lot of weed control here on the main BMP, which you may have seen from an earlier video where we were doing an aquatic weed control. Then we fixed some floating fountains over in that area. But we'll get started and show you some of these devices and how we maintain them. And it's something very important for the environment, because this whole area here, this whole ecosystem you see, is designed to filter that water and clean it before it returns to, other areas downstream. So it's it's supposed to be sustainable and a good system for cleaning all this runoff water from the shopping center and everything else. So let's get started. Take you a tour of this place. All right, folks, I'm standing over a BMP, a best management practice that is overflowing, basically. It's clogged up. As you can see, this one, we moved down to another BMP, and beyond that, there's even another one. A couple of these are clogged and need some work. There's supposed to be an exposed vegetative shelf all the way around this, planted, and we'll be planting that. But I just released that gate valve down there on the outlet device, and we're going to let drain this out. So I just want to show you this. This is a BMP here in Burlington, North Carolina. All right, Tommy Cowett signing out for now. All right, folks, so it's been a few minutes, probably about 15 minutes since I opened the gate. You can start to see how the level spreader's working. And that water, the intent of a level spreader is once that water hits that level spreader, as you can see, it's all the way up to here, and it'll flow out. Not as much as I want right here, but as you can see, the whole length of that level spreader is now kind of getting wet, and the water is dispersed over a longer length there, so it's not going to cause as much of a washout in the center like it was doing. So that's the whole idea of a level spreader. Pretty simple engineering. Now, this guy was overgrown, lots of weeds had grown up in it, a lot of silt, and there's still some repair work that needs to be done on this, but we've got a clogged up reverse slope inlet device up on the top that we just opened up. So that's two different components, two devices of a BMP, a best management practices. Here, the level spreader, if you were wondering what that is, and this is an outlet device, and these must be maintained. Keep vegetation away from it, keep it clean, keep the level spreader maintained. This is definitely not the way they intended it to be maintained. They actually call for mowing, but you might be surprised to hear that. All right, Tommy Cowett signing out for now. Okay, folks, so this is a different type of retention pond. This is actually a dry retention or detention pond that it's not really supposed to hold any water at all. As you can see, there's a problem here. The cattails are actually a problem, and we'll be controlling them. Here's a couple of other devices I want to show you. The pit down in the bottom there, that is called a forebay. And basically, it's here to slow the water down the water will seep into it and leave. And this is an outlet device, very common, with a trash rack on top. I'm standing here. Hello! We've had a lot of rain lately, and you could just see if you look down in. There's quite a bit of water flowing. Now, when we first showed up over here, this thing was completely just dry, overgrown. But now you can see we're really getting some flow here. There was no flow. And boy, it's really beautiful down in here. A lot of wildlife. You see a lot of birds. And these, when we go to cut these cattails, boy, oh boy, we're going to release some seeds. Now, how viable these seeds are, I really don't know. But I really love the ornamental grasses, the love grass, the carex. You know, a lot of other different types of ornamental grasses up here. There's broom sedge. This is all allowed to be like that. But this is a forebay you're looking at here. This rip-wrap construction into an outlet device. And these outlet devices can be modified with other types of openings in them. There's also like reverse type flow. Here's a spillover valve there. That's for any spillover. Water won't get above that point, or if it does, it'll breach over the top of here and then it's out. So water should never ever get above this level. We've had a lot of rain, so that this one does seem to be working, but it should be dry. There's not supposed to be any water in there at all. So we'll see how that works out. All right, folks, there's 2 more devices I just showed you. Okay, folks, I'm standing up here on the dam. As you can see, that's a long run. It's about 450 yards. If you go down where my finger's pointing, that's the emergency spillway, where that little indention. And I want to show you something really important about the dams on a BMP. We already came in and cut probably a couple thousand saplings, trees, deciduous trees that were growing on the dam. You're not allowed to have that. As you can see, all the cut material, and we actually did a cut and then treat with Aquamaster, which is it's glyphosate. It's an aquatic form of Roundup. And each tree that we cut was treated right thereafter, so these won't be coming back. Now, a lot of this material here growing, the multiflora rose and a lot of this other, I believe that's Lespedeza and some other things, that's okay. But you cannot have trees that have a potential like that sycamore right there to get really big. And we had to cut that. We cut a lot of trees on all these dams, probably about a half a mile of dams out here, be it at Alamance Crossing. Looking down over this BMP here, and the cattails have got to go because they do serve a nuisance as harborage for mosquitoes. So we'll be working on that, and we'll be heading down to another level spreader on the other side of the highway over there. Anyway, just want to show you that. The dams, very important to keep clear of any growing deciduous trees, or even evergreens for that matter. All right. Alright folks, so just to recap the video, I showed you what a BMP is, various devices, the inlets, the outlets, the level spreaders, the dams, some of the maintenance that needs to be done to these areas which can be so pristine. You know, you think it's just a swamp. But James Thoreau once said that the swamp is the marrow of the earth. And it is true, because all life can begin right here in the swamp. Most people don't like swamps, but what you don't realize is the wildlife, the habitat, all the microorganisms and all the life on Earth begins right here. And what we send downstream out of this will only improve the environment. And this is a good way to improve the environment. So anyway, I hope you learned something from that. If you have any questions, please post below. Tommy Cowett signing out, and hope you all having a great day.